Let's get straight to the point. Number 8. The Golden Tide Pods. Alright, look, we all hate laundry day. Lugging the basket around, realizing you're out of detergent right when you need clean socks. It's a drag. But trust me, ancient Rome's laundry situation was way, way nastier. Forget those lavender-scented pods. Their go-to cleaning agent was literal human urine. Yeah, you heard me. See, urine contains urea, which, given enough time to ferment, breaks down into high concentrations of ammonia. Scientifically speaking, ammonia is a powerful base that's fantastic at dissolving grease and bleaching fabrics. This was crucial when everyone was walking around in giant white wool sheets in the dusty Italian heat. It was such big business that they had dedicated facilities called fulinache, where some poor guy's entire 9-to-5 was stomping around barefoot in giant vats of stale collected pee to clean clothes. It was like stomping grapes for wine, except the exact opposite of that. It got so lucrative that Emperor Vespasian, always looking for a quick buck, actually taxed the pee collected from public bathrooms. His son complained it was gross, and Vespasian held up a coin and famously said, "Money doesn't stink." Easy for you to say, bro. You aren't the one doing the stomp dance in the community latrine juice. Number 7. The Great Flamingo Tongue Delicacy. If you think modern food trends like charcoal ice cream or gold-wrapped steaks are weird, you clearly haven't dined with the Roman elite. For the wealthy of Rome, it wasn't enough for food to taste good, it had to be a flex. Enter the flamingo tongue. Yes, while most of us are happy with a pepperoni pizza, Roman socialites were out here demanding a plate of tongues from tropical birds that live in lagoons. Scientifically, flamingo tongues are massive and muscular because they act as a biological pump for filter feeding, which apparently gave them a unique texture that Romans obsessed over. It was the ultimate "I'm richer than you" move because flamingos aren't exactly native to downtown Rome. You had to ship these pink birds across the Mediterranean just for a few ounces of tongue meat. It's like ordering a $500 appetizer that's 90% shipping fees and 10% regret. They didn't stop at flamingos, though. Peacocks, parrot brains, and even dormice stuffed with nuts were on the menu. A dormouse is basically a hamster that lived in your walls, but for a Roman senator, it was a 5-star snack. It's honestly a miracle they had time to conquer half the world between bites of rodent and bird tongue. If Gordon Ramsay saw a Roman kitchen, he'd probably just walk into the Tiber and never come back. Number 6. The Rodent-Powered Toothpaste. Imagine you're at a high-end spa for a Hollywood smile, but instead of minty paste, the dentist pulls out a jar of crushed mouse brains. Welcome to Roman dentistry, where organic meant absolutely terrifying. The Romans were obsessed with oral hygiene, but their methods were a chaotic mix of science and pure nightmare fuel. They figured out teeth needed scrubbing, but without fluoride, they turned to abrasive mixtures of bone meal, oyster shells, and, you guessed it, brain matter. Scientifically, those shells provided calcium carbonate, which works as a mild abrasive to scrub away plaque. It's the same basic principle behind modern toothpaste, just with more haunted basement vibes. If the brains didn't work, they'd rinse with that fermented urine we talked about earlier, because nothing says fresh breath like industrial-grade ammonia. They even had primitive dental bridges, proving that even back then, people would endure horrors to avoid looking like a pirate in selfies. It's a miracle they kept their teeth at all. If you think your dentist is scary, be glad they don't use a rodent blender. Number 5. The Community Butt Sponge. Think about that minor heart attack you get when you realize a public bathroom stall is out of toilet paper. Now imagine there is no paper at all, just a wet sponge on a stick sitting in a bucket of salt water. Oh, and you have to share it with the 50 other guys currently sitting in the room with you. Welcome to the Tersorium, the Roman Empire's answer to personal hygiene. Roman public toilets were basically long stone benches with holes, zero privacy, and a shared cleaning wand that stayed in a communal bucket of vinegar or brine. Scientifically, they thought the acidity of the vinegar or the salinity of the salt water acted as a disinfectant to keep things sterile. Spoiler alert, it didn't. In reality, these sponges were luxury hotels for parasites and bacteria like E. coli and intestinal worms. It was a biological disaster waiting to happen. Imagine finishing your business and asking the senator next to you to pass the sponge stick like it's a bowl of chips at a Super Bowl party.
It gives a whole new, horrifying meaning to the phrase, sharing is caring. Next time you're annoyed that your favorite brand of ultra-soft toilet paper is out of stock, just remember that you aren't fighting a gladiator-sized man for a soggy, vinegar-soaked ocean product.
Number 4. The sweet taste of brain damage. Ever had a sugar rush so bad you felt like you could vibrate through walls? The Romans took that and added a dash of slowly losing your mind. Before Splenda, they used sugar of lead. They boiled grape juice into a syrup called sapa. If you used a lead pot, it tasted way sweeter. Scientifically, the acetic acid in grapes reacted with lead to create lead acetate or lead sugar. It was the world's first artificial sweetener, and they put it in everything: wines, sauces, and snacks. The problem? Lead is a neurotoxin that settles in your brain like a guest who won't leave. Lead poisoning causes irritability, memory loss, and organ failure. Some historians think the Roman elite went crazy because they were microdosing heavy metals with every meal. Imagine running an empire while your brain is marinated in toxins. It explains the emperors who thought they were gods or tried to make their horses senators. They weren't just eccentric, they were one lead-sweetened snack away from a total meltdown. It's like their entire government was sponsored by a toxic waste dump. Number 3. The Gladiator Glow-Up. If you think modern fans are obsessive for buying a celebrity's used tissue on eBay, you clearly haven't seen the Roman skincare routine. Forget charcoal masks or expensive serums. Roman socialites were out here rubbing actual gladiator sweat onto their faces. I'm not even kidding. When a gladiator fought in the arena, his skin would get covered in a mixture of oil, dust, and intense stress sweat. After the fight, attendants would scrape this gunk off their bodies with a tool called a strigil and sell it in little vials outside the Colosseum. Scientifically, they believed this essence of warrior contained a magical vitality that could cure blemishes or even act as an aphrodisiac. They thought that by smearing a sweaty dude's skin cells on their foreheads, they'd look more youthful. It's like the ancient version of buying an athlete's jersey, except with way more staph infection and way less cool fashion choice. If that wasn't weird enough, people even drank the blood of fallen gladiators thinking it would cure epilepsy. It's the weirdest sports merchandise in history. Imagine walking into a Sephora today and seeing a section for post-game gym sweat. You'd call the police, but in Rome, you'd just be the person with the hottest glow-up in the Senate. Honestly, it's pretty impressive they didn't all just die of a weird skin fungus before the Goths even showed up at the gates to finish the job. Number 2. The liquid gold of rotting fish. Imagine if your favorite condiment wasn't ketchup or ranch, but the fermented juice of decomposing fish guts that had been sitting in the sun for 3 months. That's garum, the Roman Empire's version of putting that on everything. Scientifically, this process is called autolysis. You take fish innards, pack them with salt, and let the sun's heat trigger the fish's own digestive enzymes to liquefy the remains. The salt creates high osmotic pressure, which stops the really deadly bacteria from growing, while the enzymes break proteins down into glutamates. The result? A massive explosion of umami flavor that the Romans went absolutely feral for. They didn't just use it for savory stuff either. They mixed it into wine, honey, and even desserts. It was such a big industry that garum factories were legally forced to be built far outside city walls because the smell was basically a biological weapon. It's like if a whole society decided that the liquid at the bottom of a hot dumpster was the secret ingredient to a Michelin star meal. If you brought a bottle of this stuff to a modern barbecue, your friends wouldn't just uninvite you, they'd probably call a hazmat team. But to a Roman, a meal without rotten fish juice was like a day without sunshine, just a lot less stinky and much more dignified. Number 1. The Tactical Chicken Predictors. Ever wonder how the world's most powerful military made huge decisions? Was it tactical genius? Nah, it was a bunch of hungry chickens. Romans were obsessed with auspices, signs from the gods. Before a battle, they'd bring out sacred chickens and toss them grain. If the birds ate like they were at an all-you-can-eat buffet, the gods were giving a big thumbs up. If they ignored the grain, the general was supposed to pack up and go home. Scientifically, chickens are just reactive. If they're stressed or full, they simply won't eat. But for Romans, this was high-level data analysis. One general, Claudius Pulcher, got so mad when his chickens didn't eat before a sea battle that he yelled, "If they won't eat, let them drink," and chucked them into the ocean. Spoiler, he lost immediately. Drowning your advisors isn't great for strategy. Romans believed in pax deorum, or keeping the divine vibes immaculate. If you offended the chickens, you offended the cosmos. While they were engineering pioneers, their ultimate go signal was basically a feathered mood ring. It's like launching a rocket based on whether a hamster uses its wheel. One grumpy bird and your entire career is cooked.
So that's the Roman Empire. Peak engineering mixed with pure nightmare fuel. If you're glad you don't have to share a communal sponge, hit that like button and share the video. Make sure to subscribe to Coolest Dude Explains for new videos every single day. Stay curious, stay cool, and please, for the love of everything, keep the mouse brains out of your toothpaste. Catch you in the next one.